All right, Brendan, after the North Carolina game, kind of some harsh words about the team's performance. What's your further reflection on that after a couple of days?
Yeah, opinion hasn't changed, and we talked about it openly. You know, our decision making in the attacking half of the field was really poor, and it changed the complexion of the game. And our discipline was poor in the second half, and that also changed the complexion of the game. So those are all controllables. Those are all things we can control. I thought we worked the ball forward from back to front pretty well, pretty effectively. And we just weren't playing entry passes. We were shooting from all sorts of angles and distances that we've never talked about before.
Is that a situation where you have kind of a weird weather delay, where there's not really any weather kind of at the stadium, but you still have to get off the field? Does that affect the players in a...
It can, but you have to stay focused. It's something you're going to deal with every year in pro soccer, no matter what level you're playing at. And so it's something we've all dealt with before. So I wouldn't say that that would be an excuse to impact the game.
You mentioned kind of the lack of discipline. Looking at the last two league games, 4 points given up in stoppage time, essentially, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it would put the club on 10, and in a much better
then we're
position.
in the mix.
Yeah. How do you, again, you've talked about that lack of focus. You've talked about some of the things that have contributed to that with injuries and not having initial guy off the bench. What do you do to build that, to not have those late goals or not have that lack of discipline continue to impact?
Part of it's the discipline. It starts with that. Keep guys available so they're not suspended, so we're not playing down a man, which we've done 6 or 7 times in all competitions this year. Some of it's wild refereeing, there's no question about that, but we have to take care of our part of it and not put ourselves in those positions. We have to take ownership of it. We're more experienced than the guys making the decision, so it falls to us ultimately. So we have to be better about that, and we've talked at length about that this week. So hopefully that's done, that's over with. And then the other part of it is just general health, getting guys back. Michi and Diz hopefully getting back into the team this week will make a big difference, and we go from there.
Those are both players who were obviously available off the bench last time out. Do you anticipate that they're available for a longer outing?
We're still looking at it because it is early in their return, so we're not sure yet.
So looking ahead to Saturday, challenging fixture. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
I think for my money, they're the best team in the league right now in terms of current form, in terms of the quality of player they have in every position, in terms of the quality of the player they can replace every player in every position with. They're a deep, experienced, highly talented roster.
Last season played a couple of really good games against them, a 2-2 draw I think it was here. Earlier this season got 2 goals on the road, obviously shipped a few as well. It's been a fixture that this club seems to have been up for, kind of regardless of where the two teams are in the standings. What contributes to that, to kind of get everybody fired up for this game in particular?
I think respect, just mutual respect for Lee and Ben and, what they've built there. And certainly all of their players, Aaron and Cal, stand out. But, Mikey, and there's a whole bunch of other really talented young guys in that group that are winning games at a really, really high clip.
They score a lot of goals. Obviously, they have the most goals in the league. What are you looking for defensively to try and limit that to something kind of manageable?
Well, I think you have to go toe-to-toe, number one. If you sit back, they have enough quality to break you down, no matter how well you defend. But we need to be a little cleaner and a little smarter about how we do that than we were in Charleston. I thought Torres took over the game when we were there. We can't allow that to happen this time. We have to make a few adjustments to make sure that doesn't happen again. From there, you need a few things to bounce your way to beat teams that are clearly, performing right at the peak of their abilities.
You mentioned Torres. He's been a little bit of a Hartford killer over the last couple of seasons. He scored here, he scored, there this season. What is it about him that presents a problem for this side, and how do you go about managing that?
He's aggressive. He plays with all sorts of freedom, so he becomes a little bit unpredictable that way, and he's highly technical. So he's he's the type of guy that I would consider a game changer. And they have 2 proven forwards up top, and another one luckily that's away in Rubio. So when I spoke about their depth, it's no joke. They have 2 full teams that could probably win this league.
Speaking of guys who've been away, Kyle should be back for Saturday as an addition. How do you feel about having that, especially given the form he's been in?
Good. Kyle's in the best form of anyone in our team. I don't think anyone would tell you anything different. So it hurt to not have him last weekend, and we'll get him right back into the group.